this video, I wanted to go through another sketchbook. So this one is basically a lot of Japanese themed. Okay, apologies, my camera died. So like I was saying, this one is Japanese based, and I was really into Japanese woodblock paintings at the time. I still am. I just haven't done a lot of illustrations anytime soon. So yeah, I wanted to go through the sketchbook. I wanted to be a tattoo artist at this point of time, but not anymore. So I did a lot of drawing with Japanese tattoos because that's what I wanted to specialize in. So let's get into it. Right, they're in this display book again. Sorry for the reflections. So this one is a tiger. Tigers are my favorite animals. So I liked to draw them. And this one was done in pencil, like watercolor pencils, I think. So this was a really cool one. I was really proud of this one, and I did it in 2010, which I was 21 at the time. So that was that one. This one was a phoenix, and it's done in grey lead text pencil. I like to use paces, so I like to use these paces to draw. They're from Stadler, and they were my mum's, but never mind. So they're quite old, but I really like to use these ones. They don't make them like they used to. They're just not as good as what they used to be, so I like to draw in those when I do draw. So that's that one. This one was a honey mask, and this was done in 07, so I was 18 at the time. Terrible reflections. Yeah, so I was 18 at the time of that. I really liked the way this honey mask turned out. This one was a dragon, and it's done in 2010. Same deal with the grey lead. There's certain way I like dragons. Yeah, there's only certain dragons that I do like, and I like the ones without pupils as well. I don't like the pupils for some reason. So I just like a plain white eye, and I like certain horns, and I like certain aesthetics of the dragons. So a little bit fussy when it comes to the dragons. So that's that one again in 2010. This one is 07, so again I was 18 at the time. So I got a dragon and a phoenix, the same sort of phoenix, and again done with my pacer. This one is just a Japanese woman. This was a combination of Copics and paint, I think it was, like watercolor paint. So I always liked, I always liked the strong sort of women that would fight and know how to fight really well. So I was into that sort of thing, and so I wanted to draw it. I have the little Hitodama spirit here, and the little, I forgot what they're called. You go to them and pray and give them offerings and stuff. So that's that one. That was in 2011, so I was 22 then. Next one, we have a koi. And this one was done on Copic paper with Copic markers. I really like the way this one turned out too. So I guess the challenge was actually doing the water, because I had never done it before. I haven't got a date on this one, so I don't know how old I was. But yeah, the Copic markers turned out really well. I think they blended in really well as well. Yeah, and quite like the way that koi turned out. Very cool. This one was some samurais that I was playing around with. So this was done in Copic markers as well, and this was like a thinner Copic paper, I think it was. So it's all Copic markers with a sake set, don't know why, a scroll, which doesn't actually have any Japanese writing on it. Alright, next one. Next one, I don't know what it is, like a zombie geisha, like a more traditional type thing. I don't know. I don't really like it. I was 21 at the time. And I thought I should try some more traditional things, so I had put a Japanese flair on it. And this is, I think they're watercolor pencils as well. And then I've obviously gone over them again with some water. Next one is a dragon again. I like images with subtle color. Sometimes, like when it comes to Japanese things, I like subtle color. So I like everything else to be like black and white as the base with some subtle coloring. So I added the red belly and the yellow, and then also the cherry blossoms as well. It's probably a bit too much color for my liking, but hey, whatever. And we have the pupilless eye again. And I think this was on watercolor paper, and I did a combination of watercolor pencils, fine liner, and watercolor paints, I think. The next one, we've got a foo dog, black and white background with a blue foo dog. Never drawn a foo dog before. I obviously need some improvements, but oh well. I think it looks pretty cool. And I think it's just on, I don't know, sketchbook paper, I think, and it is in watercolor pencils, I think. This one, it's the same lady from previous with the same dresses and stuff. So obviously I had some kind of character in mind for that one, and used it again, but I never finished it, I don't think, obviously. So I didn't color this in, I didn't finish all the waves, and obviously I wanted to add some lightning. And then I didn't finish that either. Don't know why. So yeah, obviously it was meant to have a black background as well, like this one, but obviously not. And we have a samurai. I was meant to add some patterns onto the body and actually the undergarments and stuff, and some, you know, lots of details, I guess. So this is Copic markers and just some paint as well for the hair. Maybe one day I'll finish it, probably not. Next is the Hanya mask again, and I was really into the cherry blossoms, obviously, so I added some cherry blossoms to everything. Went for the blue Hanya mask. I think this is one of the first Hanya masks that I drew. I was 21, obviously, and it's just on regular paper with, I think, the watercolor pencils again. Same deal with this one, 2010. I think this is like the first samurai that I drew. So there you go. I don't like the color that I chose for the peony. Don't know why I went for that color. It's horrible. But I like the color of the outfit. I can obviously work on the face, but again, I was 21 when I did this, and have cherry blossoms, and I used watercolor pencils by the look of it. So that's that one. Next is this little fox, and I always like this little fox. If you're familiar with Japanese mythology, sometimes, I forgot what they're called, but they have these foxes that pose as people, and then they're like sneaky and stuff. So yeah, I always like this fox. I always intended to put some patterning on the gown, but I didn't. But I kind of like it plain and simple like that. So definitely something I'd consider. I'm pretty fussy when it comes to fox faces as well, because I want it to have a certain look. Because there's some looks that I don't actually really like, but I can draw it. How about that? So this was done in, by the looks of it, watercolor pencil as well, with really subtle coloring. So this is the sort of thing that I like, subtleties. Next one is another fox. This was a tattoo that I always intended on getting. I drew it for myself basically, and this is the sort of fox face that I like, and the body and the color and everything about it. The only thing I'd probably change are the cherry blossoms to maple leaves, just because I have a tattoo with cherry blossoms on it anyway. So I wanted, this was always intended to be a back piece to go along with my phoenix, so it's like kind of a yin-yang-y type thing. But I think my phoenix in my back is facing the wrong way to actually do that, unfortunately. But yeah, I want it to be like seasonal as well, so maple leaves and cherry blossoms. So the phoenix has cherry blossoms, and I wanted the fox to have maple leaves just because it's the same sort of tone as well. So I think the colouring would match better as maple leaves with the fox. Next one, we have that same character that I never finished. So again, with the gown, I never did the patterns, but we have, this is a sort of maple leaf that I like, and I'm a bit fussy with the way the maple leaves look. I don't like the cartoony type bold maple leaves. I like more of a realistic one, I guess. So that's that. This was done with Copic markers, and I think it's on Copic paper, like a thin Copic paper. I also did some of those cranes, the red crested cranes, I think they're called, that are in Japan. That's pretty important to their culture. So I added them, but obviously didn't finish them. Don't know if I liked the placement of it anyway. Next one is another tiger. Colouring's a bit bold for me for Japanese images, but I was going to try out the way the Copic markers were. I think the face is a bit dark for my liking. I think what the problem is, I like the way it looks, but yeah, just a couple of things that I don't like about it. The next one, just have some writing that no one cares about. And then we have, I don't know why this is in here and why that's sticky. It was a sugar skull of, probably should be in the other folder or something else, but there you go, sugar skull. Not bad. I think it's a combination of Copic markers, watercolor paint, and watercolor pencils, I believe, and 2011. And this was another one. It's on the same sort of paper. It's a bit thicker, so it's not the Copic paper. Same character again, and same warrior that I've been drawing. This is very similar to the other one that I drew. Obviously I wasn't happy with something, so I drew it again. With the lightning and a Shinto gate, or a Torii gate, I mean. Cherry blossoms again, and a storm, whirlwind storm, graded as well, and some paint for the hair. Next one is just a geisha under some crappy cherry blossoms. Not a very good one. It's kind of pooey actually. A skull, okay. I have a bunch of stuff in here. Let me get it out. I don't know what's in here. So we have a skull that's done on Copic paper with Copic markers. Whatever. We've got a sugar skull again, which is pencil, I believe. Meh. Obviously was into sugar skulls at some point. Another weird skull, sugar skull. This one was a sugar skull lady. It's not bad. Obviously, I've never used watercolor this before, especially at 21, because I'm only learning now. So it's actually not too bad for a try, I guess. There you go. Crappy weirdness. I don't like it. It's my go at traditional things, I think. Lettering, I guess. Lettering. Color an owl in grey lead. I guess that's just a sketch. A geisha, like my try at people. Crappy lettering. Weird butterflies, because obviously this is part of me trying to do crappy tattoos. I think I did this for someone. I'm not too sure, but more traditional type tattoo things. We're done with Copic markers. A pretty cool snake. Copic markers again by the looks of it. Never finished. It's a cobra in the Japanese style. Obviously I didn't like the way it turned out, I think. and that's why I didn't finish it. Some weird roses, didn't finish it again. A gun with a lace thing on it. Okay. A chick that I never finished. That's probably supposed to be in the other folder, but never finished it. I don't think I like the way the jaw was turning out, but there you go. And I think that's actually it for this folder. Again, if you want to see, if you want some of these prints as prints, I'm more than happy to start selling the prints of these. I've just never really posted too much of them. Yeah, I've never really posted much of them, just because it's a very long time ago and I think I forgot about it mostly. But yeah, if you're interested, or if I don't know, if you're interested in prints, just let me know in the comments, and yeah, I could probably actually do some prints. So that's pretty much it for this sketchbook tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. This gives you a little bit of a look at what I used to do when I was younger as well, and a little bit about what my styles and stuff, and like what I'm inspired by. It's a lot of Japanese stuff, so yeah. In the meantime, you can check me out on my Patreon and support me there. I could also offer some of these prints as Patreon awards as well. So for my $25 tier, you get a monthly thing in the mail. So I could possibly do some of these if you're interested. Let me know. That's at Creatures of Nat. You can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Creatures of Nat. And don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment, all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next one.